The real reason why Rockstar Games put out the final thank you for Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online and Red Dead Redemption. I know a lot of you guys have been seeing this image on YouTube or internet or wherever you might find social media. This image has been posted with tons of creators, tons of spectators saying that this is going to be the end of Grand Theft Auto 5, Grand Theft Auto Online. We are ushering in Grand Theft Auto 6. What if I told you that this was another shady move by Rockstar Games? And I know a lot of you are like, what are you talking about? Well, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. If you guys are new, make sure you drop a sub, drop a like, and ding those bells. I like to get to the bottom of things. You know, I like to research some stuff. And I was like, you know what? Rockstar Games, they try to be slick, they try to be cool, and sometimes they get away with it. But guys, I'm going to call them out on their bullshit, okay? So let's get into this. So Grand Theft Auto 5, Grand Theft Auto Online, it says, combined efforts of our global team over many years, we want to acknowledge and thank everyone who has contributed to these games from their original launch in 2013 all the way through to present day. Now, you can go to this website. I will link it in the description. But it pretty much says everybody's name that has worked on the project when it first started until right now. Well, why did they do that? Well, let's talk about it. This right here, boys, right here. So here's an article that was put out by the Washington Post. I will put this article in the description as well so you can read more at your leisure. So you worked on a video game. You might not appear in the credits. Let's get into this. Funny thing is, when I look at this article and I scroll down, this is what the first thing says. In June 2012, during development on Grand Theft Auto 5, a department lead told over 50 Rockstar North Star employees to come into work the following day. Despite their contracts having expired, these workers had grown accustomed to a certain rhythm. Sign a contract for a 3 to 6 month interval, then get the contract extended the day before it lapsed. It wasn't comfortable. The arrangement made it hard to sign a lease, for example, but it wasn't unusual. The next day, a department lead entered the offices where people were anxiously trying to work. Tapping individuals on the shoulder one by one, the lead directed them toward HR, where they were eventually told their contracts would not be renewed. In total, roughly 30 contractors were released, many of whom were new to the industry. Multiple people present on the day told the Post. The silver lining the unrenewed contractors thought was the credit they would eventually receive for their time spent working on the game. The hotly anticipated fifth entry in the popular Grand Theft Auto franchise went on to sell more than 64 million copies worldwide. It became the most profitable entertainment product of all time. But when Grand Theft Auto 5 launched, those workers were shocked to discover they were missing from the game's credits. What? And guess what just came out not that long ago? Let's show you the credits. So guys, these people worked on Grand Theft Auto from the beginning and were never accredited. They were never accredited. Now they're being accredited. Don't worry, it gets better. It gets better. So for all the people that were like, oh, they're getting ready for GTA 6. Oh, they're saying, no, they're doing it to protect their ass. Rockstar Games coming through once again, really caring about the people. Awesome. Good job, Rockstar. See, I'm not going to lie. I catch people on bullshit. I do my research. Let's get more into it. It gets a little bit more fun. They go on and they say that crediting is a big thing. Obviously, if you put your time and effort into something, you want to get credit for it. You know what I'm saying? That's anybody. That's anywhere. You do a movie, you get a credit. You do a book, you get a credit. You do a music, you do a beat, you get credit. Everywhere you do it, you get credit, except when it comes to Rockstar Games. Let's keep going. There are currently no widely adopted crediting guidelines within the games industry, as there are in film and TV, where studios abide by best practices negotiated by unions. Instead, crediting in games largely depends on the whim of the employer. Many have their own exclusionary terms that they're unwilling to change. Some companies purposefully withhold credits from workers who left before a project's completion to create a culture that discourages employees from leaving mid-project, according to Emma. So what that says is they're not going to give you a credit until you complete the game. So let's say you work on 2 levels, 3 levels, or let's say you make something in the game that is very crucial, very beneficial, but you got to leave mid-project. You got a family emergency. You got something going on in your life. You leave mid-project. You don't get a credit for it. Tough shit. Move on. The next guy's going to take your spot. That's how it goes in the gaming industry, supposedly. Well, guess what? This is where it gets fun. Check this out. There's tons of companies that are actively using crediting as a way to have leverage over the workers and keep them dependent on the company. And that's actively malicious crediting. Kinema said one studio threatened to not credit her on a project for leaving before release. She said, and she was cautioned against mentioning the game in her portfolio. Ultimately, she chose not to include it on her list of credits. Many developers do this, but Rockstar Games has been particularly notorious for this practice. And as an industry leader, it has set an alarming precedent throughout the years. In addition to those omitted from Grand Theft Auto 5, the publisher didn't credit a collection of developers who left before the completion of Red Dead Redemption 2. Both titles were in production for more than 5 years each, with employees often forced to crunch to make deadlines, leading to complaints or of burnout. The prospect of losing their credit should they decide to leave the production early was often a factor in deciding whether an employee stayed or tried to find work elsewhere. So keep in mind, guys, RDR2 was in production for 5 years. So you had to be part of that project for 5 years. A lot of shit can go on in 5 years. And if you were to leave, you get no credit. No matter what you did, you got no credit. And it's very funny that it says Rockstar Games is notorious for this practice. And then after you read this and then you see this, now you know the malicious intent of Rockstar Games. Now you know of the trashy stuff that went on behind the scenes. It's all coming to light, and this is pretty much to protect their ass at this point. This is to protect their ass. This isn't here to tell you about GTA 6. This isn't here to tell you about nothing except for how Rockstar Games can protect their ass. That's pretty much what this is all about, bro. And, feel free to read more about this article, but it's all about Rockstar Games. All about Rockstar Games and how people did not get accredited. A lot of people went under the bus. A lot of people went under the radar. And that's what happened. So Rockstar Games over here trying to, be all, oh, look at us. We're going to give credit where credit's due. After 13 years and after people are making headlines about you, telling you that you don't credit your people and you pretty much keep them on and work them until they're dead just so they could get a credit on your game. That's pretty pathetic, bro. That is pretty pathetic. So, guys, if you do see this image out there, if you see this image, you see it on YouTube, you see it on Google, realize the real behind this. Realize the real behind this. You might want to educate people about it and say, this does not mean GTA 6. This just means no lawsuit for Grand Theft Auto. That's what that means. No lawsuit. Protect my ass. No GTA 6. But that's what that means right there. And feel free to read this article at your leisure. Now, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit a like. If you are new, drop a sub. And don't forget to ding those bells. With that being said, I am Jackknife Finnegan, and I will catch you on the next video or the next live stream. Until then, peace.